Thank you very much for joining us. It is Serious Matters on ONIF TV. My name is Olukunle Abraham. And of course, it is no more news that the number one man in the judiciary cadre of Nigeria has resigned. However, there have been a series of insinuations as to why he resigned. Some say he resigned for health. He resigned on health conditions because of his health status. I also see from all indications that the man is old, and so there might just be some issues in coordination and all of those things. So it's not uncalled for, because age would always demand. However, some people said some reports have it that he resigned based on corruption charges. There are corruption charges against him, and while there is these reports coming up this morning from the Supreme Court, I think he has been battered from different angles from his subordinates, as it were, in the Supreme Court, as to not being responsible, and also being charged by the Supreme Court justice for moral decadence. However, let's look at this report first of all from the Gazette, saying that CJN Tanko resigns amid corruption's gross misconduct, charges from 14 Supreme Court justice. Now, Chief Justice Tanko Mohammed has resigned after being robbed by corruption and misconduct charges from at least 14 Supreme Court Justice. Mr. Mohammed's resignation is to take urgent effect, according to 4 Supreme Court sources who spoke to the People's Gazette on Monday morning. Credit to the People's Gazette. A spokesperson for the Supreme Court confirmed the development to people from the inside to us outside on Monday morning, but said additional details will be made public as they are being unveiled. The Gazette that published a series of articles last week from a protest authored by Supreme Court Justice against Mr. Tanko, accusing him of corruption, misconduct, and neglect of personal welfare. The rare charges were seen by courts analysts as historically explosive, warning that it could worsen its reputation. Mr. Tanko replied to the justice, accusing them of dancing naked in the marketplace and absolving himself of any wrongdoing. Like I said, let's move on straight to what the Supreme Court justice are saying that this man had done. I think he might just have been might just be moving off because of the attacks from different angles. But let's see what the Supreme Court's justice had to say. The justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria have called out the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, over poor condition of service in the judiciary and the welfare of its member. Of course, the judiciary of Nigeria has experienced some, it's been a bit shaky in recent times in handling cases and all of that. Yes, we've only seen, a few cases being, done the way. And I feel the Supreme Court justice are not asking for too much if they are saying that they want very good condition of service for the judiciary and their welfare. In a letter by the justices seen by our reporters, members of Nigerian judiciary expressed their concern over this their budgetary allocation that have not been increased in the last 4 years. We are serving this country diligently, and to the best of our ability, we resolve disputes between the executive and the legislatures, including all manner of disagreement between governments and individuals. It would be a tragedy if the Nigerian public were to know that we are unable to resolve our own problem. Of course, we are getting to know that already. Our own problems internally without going public. The letter said, the decision to write to you formally must be seen by your lordship as an effort on our part to preserve the dignity of the judiciary and the respect, recorded or accorded to us by the government and the people of Nigeria. The issues raised by the justices in the letter include failure to replace dilapidated vehicles, accommodation problem, poor healthcare services at the Supreme Court clinic, and poor electricity supply to the Supreme Court. The judges called Mr. Tanko's sense of responsibility into question, fearing a potential shutdown of the judiciary due to the raised concern. Recall that the ASU has not been resolved. ASU issues have not been resolved, so students are still at home. And so if the judiciary shuts down now, then that will be it will broaden, the problems that Nigeria is facing at this time. Yeah, and the Bible says better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. I don't know why this later part of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is just beginning to, experience this, all these issues that we're experiencing at this time. The killings have continued and quite a number of things are still happening. Look at what happened in Lagos, yesterday. And so the justices had called Mr. Tanko's attention to an internal memo served by the chief registrar, which notified judges that electricity would be supplied to the court between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily due to the lack of diesel. The implication of this memo is that the justices must finish their work and close before 4 p.m. Your Lordship, with all due respect, this is the peak of the degeneration of the court. It is the height of this decadence and clear evidence of the absence of probity and moral rectitude. The justices wrote, Your Lordship, this act alone portends imminent danger to the survivor of this court and the judiciary as an institution, which is gradually drifting to extinction. That's problem. Well, other issues cover the non-signing of amended court rules and abrupt stoppage of foreign workshop and training per annum for justices, and no provision for qualified legal assistance. And also, as such, the judges called Mr. Tanko's sense of responsibility into questioning, fearing a potential shutdown of the judiciary due to the raised concern. Says, Your Lordship, this is a wake-up call. Your Lordship must take full responsibility as our leader. You must not concession your responsibility to people who have no responsibility or stake in preserving and defending the dignity of these institutions. The letter said, Your Lordship occupies a position of leadership. We will not wait for the total collapse of the institution. The letter was delivered early in June, and Supreme Court sources confirmed to our reporters that a commotion had broken out over it. They also said the committee that included traditional leaders had been trying to mediate the crisis. When reached for comment, Abakar Isa Ahuraka is a spokesman for Mr. Tanko, said that the issues raised by the justice had been addressed, even though his principal bore no responsibility with respect to that. The memo written by the Supreme Court Justice to the CJN complaining their poor state of welfare was earlier expressed during their quarterly meeting held in March this year. The CJN was attending to the complaints before his colleagues decided responded in that statement. CJN is not the cause of Supreme Court's problem or justice or issues, financial woes, but a collective woeful working condition. The CJN does not close from work till sometimes 7 to 8 p.m. Meanwhile, most of the judges' complaints have been attended to and have been received adequate attention, as they were made to know during their meeting with Justice Beige, he said. Well, we would bring you updates as touching the CJN. He's resigned and he has been replaced by the most senior justice in the Supreme Court, by who is the person of Justice Ariwola. And so he's the one taking over, and we hope that things will take a new dive, will take a new look. But then we would bring you updates, as to what happens around the CJN. Well, did he actually resign due to health condition or corruption charges thrown at him? And there was a hint on the news this morning. We don't know how true that is, but then we'll bring you update as to whether corruption charges actually pushed him out of office, or he's just not being able to handle things again. Well, I'll come back again, like I would always say. My name is Olukunle.